triangle position, one of the most famous stretching positions for your hamstrings, for your hips, for your legs, and more in general to gain more flexibility. You can find it in yoga or in general flexibility training, but how many variations you can do and how to achieve the best stretch possible. This is what I'll be talking about in this video.
The flexibility guy, Coach Elia.
Hello everyone and welcome to Mobility Academy. I'm the flexibility guy, Coach Elia. And in today's video I'm going to show you how to do the triangle pose and achieve the best stretch possible. I'm also going to show you the 2 variations you can do to stretch your hamstrings at your best. But before I start, let me remind you that if you want to improve your lower body flexibility, you can check out my book, Split Stacking, to achieve the splits and master your lower body flexibility. And you can do that following the link in the description down below. Alright, now with that said, let's start. Alright guys, you need a pair of yoga blocks to do the triangle pose or something similar, alright? And now I'm going to show you the 2 variations you can do to increase your hamstrings flexibility, your legs flexibility, your hips flexibility. You're using this exercise here. If you don't know the triangle pose yet, well, you're served. This is the explanation as well. So, a couple of yoga blocks, remember this. In a triangle pose, you do want to stretch the muscles you have here behind your leg, alright? And this may be good for your splits, to achieve the splits, to improve your posture, but for so many different reasons, alright? So you may be increasing your hamstrings flexibility for a lot of reasons. Also, if you practice yoga, maybe the triangle pose is kind of uncomfortable and you're wondering, how can I improve this? Well, there's the solution, alright? So, to perform a correct triangle pose, you do want to turn one foot up 90 degrees. So let's assume you want to start here, back foot 90 degrees up, front foot pointing in front of you, something like this. All right. Now, the length of your lunge really depends. All right, but I suggest you something like double the width of your shoulders. So for example, if your shoulders width is like this, you do want to do something double that. Something like this, all right? You do want to stay comfortable. Not too long, neither like too short. Something in between, all right? So as you can see, my legs are straight now. Straight legs, this is really important. Now you do want to place the yoga blocks right over here, next to your front foot, especially if you're a beginner, if you're not that flexible, all right? Now, what you do want to do to create the stretch is this. You do want to turn your body to the side. So rather than looking in front of you in this direction here, you do want to look to the side, all right? And from this position here, you do want to keep your trunk in this line right here, all right? You don't want to move the trunk anymore. So you want to keep the trunk in this activation here, and you do want to move your body down like this, all right? Now, remember that as you do this, you don't want to kind of push the hips to the side. You do want to keep your hips on top of the center of your legs. So the center is here. I do want to keep my hips here. I do want to flex down with my trunk. So imagine that the stretch is coming from here and of course here, all right? So I suggest you keep something like a weight or something right over here. I'm going to show you that variation with the weight as well. But now, when you start, you do want to make sure that you can do that following the correct technique, all right? So from here, go down, touch, all right? You go into this stretching position here, all right? And this is the triangle pose number 1. Ta-da! Magic trick. So, if you got a weight or something like that, as I said, you can also use a weight to push your body down this way. This is way more effective because you have an assistance now which can help you get deeper into the stretch. Now, this is really important because when you are in the stretch, most of the time, if your Hamstrings, if your muscles are tight, you can't go into the position with the correct depth. So if you have a weight, something really light, these are 4 kilos for example, you want to start here, all right, and then you press up and you go down with the hand like this. And you can remain here 10 to 20 breaths, just trying to relax deeper and deeper into the stretch. And as you get better, you kind of remove the blocks. So rather than using 2 yoga blocks, I do want to use only 1. And this is exactly the same. I keep my torso in line with my front leg, all right? I don't move my hips. I go down and I flex here. You can see that. Here, I go down, I touch, and I relax here. As I am in the stretch, I do want to keep my arms one in line with the other, and I really want to look up with my belly, with my trunk, all right? So as I am in the bottom position, I don't want to close my body this way. I do want to point up with my torso, all right? And of course, the progression just stops when you can touch the floor, all right? So from here, straight legs, you touch the floor, and this is the triangle pose number 1, all right? So straight legs, straight torso, this position here, excellent for your hamstrings flexibility. And let me be honest with you, all right? This is not like a big deal. It's not that hard to achieve. Of course, for beginners, there's an excellent pose to start with, all right? But as you get better, this might be a little too easy for you. So what should you do next? I'm gonna show you the second variation of the triangle pose. You're not supposed to use a weight here though, because you're gonna see that, all right? There's also a kind of a balancing position. Now, the starting position is exactly the same. So you don't need your yoga blocks, all right? I'm gonna show you this way because I do wanna look at the camera as I'm doing this. So, front leg as before. Back leg, 90 degrees. A beautiful lunge right over here. Now, rather than putting your block on the inside of your foot, you do want to put that on the outside of your foot. Now, the technique remains the same, but you don't want to drive down your body like this. So you have your right leg in front, you push down your right hand in the first variation. Now you do want to go down with your left. So you do something like this. And when you are here, you keep both legs straight and you turn the body. Now, as you do that, you'll feel that this leg just wants to do this, wants to bend. So don't bend your leg, keep your leg straight. And this movement here is gonna be really intense on your hamstrings and on your glutes. And you may wonder why this movement is kind of harder than the other one. This is because as you rotate your body, can you see that? Here I have this kind of rotation, but then as I go down, I just rotate my body to the side a lot, like this, all right? And that rotation of the trunk just rotates the hips as well. And by rotating the hips, as the hips rotate, they pull the hamstrings and they pull the glutes into a deeper stretch. All right, so that's why this is gonna stretch your hamstrings and your glutes like crazy, way more. So as you are here, you go down, all right? Now I have one yoga block and I can do the variation. Let's assume I can stay here 10, 20 breaths. I do feel the stretch, but I can feel more. All right. Let's go on the floor. So you start on top, all right, technique. You go down. As you go down, you can also turn the back foot a little in, just to maintain your body in balance. Touch the floor with your hand, right over here, on the outside of your front foot, all right? And then from here, hold the balance, straighten the arm up. The more you can push this arm back and rotate your body, of course, the more you're gonna feel the stretch. Why? Because the more as I said, the more you rotate your hips, the more you can feel the stretch. All right, so that's why. So these are the two variations you can use to stretch your hamstrings, to stretch your glutes, to stretch your legs, your hips. This is wonderful, guys. I do love putting this exercise here. If you've been following me for a while, you can see a lot of my routines, a lot of my stretching tutorials. And when I have, for example, 15 minutes or 50 minutes, an hour, in my routines, almost always I put this exercise here because it's excellent. Everybody can do this following his or her own flexibility level. So I hope that at this point everything is clear for this triangle pose, should I say, tutorial or something like that, because you have a lot of information right now, and maybe you have many different questions, doubts or opinions about the triangle pose, about this exercise. Maybe you give this exercise a go and you have kind of a question or an opinion. If that is the case, please leave a comment down below and I'll be really happy to have a chat with you and to talk about this wonderful exercise. Also remember, if you enjoyed the content, hit that thumb up button and help me grow this YouTube channel. Alright guys, so with that said, that's all from Flexibility Guy, Coach Elia. Have a nice stretch and see you in the next video. Bye.